Hey guys, my name's Metiri, and I decided to make a mini-series on how to make a dubstep song. And this is going to be more wobbly type of dubstep, not really the like hard, heavy style dubstep. And today I'm going to be going over how to make drum loops in Ableton Live 8. So I have Ableton open. And first thing I'm going to do is go to File, Open New Set, and I'm going to go into Arrangement View by clicking on this little icon. And now the way I'm going to show you how to make drum loops is by using the MIDI instrument drum rack. And so I can delete this first audio thing. I'll just click on the title of it and click delete, and that automatically deletes it. Now, in the Live Devices tab, which is over here on your left, you just click it, go to Instruments, and just drag that drum rack onto the MIDI track. Excuse me. And I have this folder here, which I'm going to upload. It has all the samples that I'm going to be using in this tutorial. So, I'm just going to drag... I'll just drag these in one by one real quick into my drum rack. So I dragged my kick into the drum rack area, so it plays whenever I press that play button. Now it created a ASD file, which is the analyzed file, like saying that this is analyzed. And now we won't have to really load it ever again. It will automatically play if we put it in. Let me put in the other ones. You could put this any way you want. I just have like a certain way that I do it. Up. Okay, so we have our drum rack with all our sounds in it. But what we're going to want to do is kind of give each of these enough time to play throughout the entire sound. And how we're going to do that is we're going to click on this show/hide devices tab right here, and that'll show us this. So let's go down to our kick, just click on it, and change the release time to 400 maybe. Let's listen to it. I usually do 2000, give it 2 seconds to play out through the entire sound. So that sounds good. I'm also going to go to volume and make it -6, and I'm going to do the same thing for each of these other sounds. So 2000 for release and -6 for the volume. So just do this for every sound. You just click on the sound and change the values. Oh Jesus. And we are just about finished. Okay, so here we have all of our sounds up, set up in a drum rack. I'm going to make the crash a little longer on the release, just because it's a longer sound. So I did 4 seconds. Although, I think I could leave it at 2 seconds. Maybe. Yeah, I'll leave it at 2.5 seconds. Okay, the way I usually do my drum tracks is that I first set the tempo to 140. So you click up here and just type in 140. And now I'm going to set the loop by clicking on here. And I'm going to select the first 8 measures, or first 8 bars, and then select it with your mouse. And then on the upper half of this yellow selection, right click and insert a MIDI clip. Now double click on the MIDI clip and we have our MIDI editor. So the first thing I usually do is I set up a basic pattern. So I just double click on the first beat of the bar, then I drag it out so it's half of the half note. Excuse me. So our kick is a half note, and it plays on the first. Then I'll control click and drag up while holding control to get the snare, and do that with the clap as well. So it's overlaying. So it's okay. So now I'm just going to copy this by doing that control drag, and I'm just going to put the first 4. So now we have a 4-bar loop, and now I'm just going to drag my mouse right here. I'm going to click and drag it down, and now we get this smaller grid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit more like varied on the bass kick. But with dubstep, most of the time it's you have a snare and clap on the 3rd beat for every bar. So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's like a template for all dubstep. Now I'm gonna make my bass kicks a little bit varied by just dragging them and clicking in some areas so I get. And you can make this pattern any way you want. You could copy me for all I care. It's just try to be creative with it. Dun dun dun. Ksh. Get out of here. Dun dun. Dun. Maybe like that. So that sounds pretty cool. Maybe if I do this. Yeah, so I'm happy with this. And now okay. So now what I'm going to do is first I'm going to add my crash to the first beat. And this is only going to play once every 8 bars, and that's why I had you select 8 bars. But when we finish our cymbals, we're just going to copy all these down. So now I'm going to make a hi-hat rhythm. I'm just going to zoom in and just click around until I get a nice hi-hat loop going. That sounds pretty cool. And I'm just going to select that, copy it over, and now I have this nice 4-bar loop. And now I'm going to select my hi-hats and my bass and kick. I mean bass, drum, and snare and clap. Sorry. I'm just going to copy that over. And I didn't copy the crash over because I don't want my crash every bar or every 4 measures. So here's what we have as an entire loop now. Okay, so that sounds really nice. And whoa. What I'm gonna do real quick is just make the levels a little nicer. So I went back into my live view or session view. I'm gonna click right here, this little arrow, and this is gonna bring everything up. I'm gonna first, before I do that, I'm gonna drag this up and drag this over a few times for each of the tracks. And this is just so I can make the levels the way I want them right now. So let me first rename this group as Drum Kit, just to make my workspace a little neater. Sorry. And now I'm gonna go through and see how this sounds. My hats are a little too loud. So now all my levels are nice and neat. So my drum kit sounds really nice. And the last thing I'm going to do for this video, and to wrap up our drum loop tutorial, is I'm going to add a little bit of reverb. So under Audio Effects in the Live Devices tab, I'll find reverb. I'm just going to drag it in. And now the first thing I'm going to do is change the quality from eco to high, and I'm going to lower the wet dry to 35. And I'm going to turn off my high cut. So that sounds really nice. Maybe play with the chorus a little bit. Okay, so that wraps up drum loops for this video, and I hope you guys like this, and I'll be posting my next video so you guys can watch that, and that's going to be talking about making intros to a dubstep song. So I hope you guys like this, and subscribe, like, do all your fancy stuff, and goodbye.